We're hearing a lot of talk today about blockchain and use of that. We also hear about the Internet of Things. And it might seem like they're two separate topics, and they kind of are, but they're blending them together right now for added security that, first of all, we really need. And secondly, it's eminently logical to use this. And matter of fact, to find out about it, we've got the head of a company called Atonomi, who is joining us right now, Vaughn Emery. He's joining us from his offices in the Seattle area. Vaughn, thanks for being with us today.
Hi, Terry. Thanks so much for having me. I'm looking forward to talking to you.
Yeah, I'm really excited about what you're doing here because it's like we've had the blockchain. We know the benefit of that. We saw it first with crypto, and it's still working with cryptocurrencies, doing good there. But we're seeing a lot that's being done now over in other areas, particularly in security. Now, your background is in cybersecurity for many years. You've worked in that. Tell us why you're using blockchain and how that relates to security, particularly with the Internet of Things.
Yeah, blockchain is a lot of things to a lot of people, but when it comes to cybersecurity, it solves some problems that the industry has never been able to kind of get their handle on. One, it allows us to establish immutable identity of devices, not because one vendor says this device should be trusted, but because many participants in a consensus can validate the identity of the device. It has a decentralization of critical infrastructure. So you think about what criminals and hacks kind of pull off is they attack a single point of failure and they disrupt that. With blockchain, there's, as we all know, it's a decentralized infrastructure, so it's no longer a single point of attack. And then third, it's that historical ledger of how devices behave. Through machine learning, we can figure out what's normal, what's baseline behavior, and then when it behaves out of band, we can take steps to block devices that have become compromised.
Very nice. Yeah, I think that way you're doing it looks good. Well, tell us specifically how someone who's saying, well, I don't know about Internet of Things. I've heard people talk to me about that, and they go, I'm really concerned about that. It scares me because they realize, hey, all these little devices we have, we can put sensors on them, and we know just about anything and everything we want to. Take us a little bit deeper on how blockchain can make sure that we are secure and we don't have to worry about all the problems of fear of security and the big brother watching us, and how blockchain helps on that.
Yeah, security starts with what we call root of trust. It's the idea that a device can be known and trusted. And it begins with the manufacturers of devices. They've got a vested interest, as we do, to make sure that the Internet of Things is truly protected. A good use case example is home Wi-Fi, just one of many use cases of this technology. Within home Wi-Fi, it's fairly easy to intercept the Wi-Fi signal and beam over the top of a home Wi-Fi. But with Atonomi and the idea that devices are now known and trusted, you can bring in the next generation smart home device, and you can implicitly link it to your identity, your cryptocurrency, and the use of tokens to manage that as a more contained ecosystem. And that's just an example of using blockchain technology for something that we deal with every day, home Wi-Fi and smart devices.
Yeah, there's a lot we can do with that. And it seems like there's a lot of capability in there. Now, one of the things that's very important in security is trust. And we know that in blockchain, trust has some different dimensions. Tell us how trust relates to what Atonomi is doing, your company, and what's happening with blockchain on that.
Sure. Just a little background. Today, our experience with the internet in browsers is really anonymous first, right? We use browsers to connect to commerce and social media, anonymous, and then we provide credentials. So in the Internet of Things and blockchain, we can now begin with known trusted identity. So the moment devices connect, interoperate, and begin to transact, their identity can be validated against the blockchain. And that changes the entire approach of cybersecurity and the trust that we want from our devices. Known trusted identity is really the path to get ahead of cybersecurity.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, there's a lot that we can do with that. If someone says, hey, I'm interested in this, we want to find out about it, tell us how they can reach you, your company, and where the ideal situation would be. And also, please spell, I love your company's name, Atonomi, which then you spell it a little differently. So please spell that very carefully for those that might be listening that don't speak English as their native language.
Sure. So Atonomi, Atomi.io. That's the website. You can come there. You can learn about the platform. We're building the secure ledger of things. So our vision is to build an infrastructure by which devices can be known, trusted, and through a device's life cycle, it can be the reputation can be tracked, and then we enable interoperability of marketplaces that might develop healthcare, logistics, home automation. All kinds of marketplaces will develop over IoT, Atonomi is building a platform to secure and create interoperability of those marketplaces. So Atonomi.io, that's where you would come to learn more. Our software is open source. It's in GitHub. We'll be releasing more of that platform in the coming weeks and months.
Oh, very good. Well, this is something that's exciting. Those of you that are watching this, you want to bounce over there to their website. Take a look at that. I love what I saw there, the secure ledger of things. We often talk about the Internet of Things, and people can bring a lot of ideas to that, particularly when they're concerned about security. But the secure ledger of things blends the ledger, the distributed ledger of blockchain with the security. And Vaughn, you've done a great job with that. Thank you very much for what you've done. And thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you, Terry. It's been wonderful. I've enjoyed the conversation.
All right. And for those of you watching, this is something that you want to look into because it addresses two areas that are very, very important: security and the benefits that we get from connecting devices in the Internet of Things. It's like we had a concern. Now technology comes in, and what they're doing at Atonomi is amazing. I would recommend take a look at it and see how that would fit into your plans and help you in your company. I'm Terry Brock with terrybrock.com and businessjournals.com. I look forward to hearing from you.